sports talk and entertainment. It's Wednesday. We're getting closer to the next debacle. I want to talk about the New York Giants, the national media coverage, Joe Judge, the backup quarterback situation, and Saquon Barkley, his return to Chicago after his massive injury, his major injury. And I think a lot of fans don't quite understand the magnitude of the injury that Saquon Barkley had. And they're questioning why he isn't coming back, why he isn't the player that he was, the players of yore, even the player that he was in his second season. They're questioning that. And we want to talk about that a little bit because you know what? Some of it's Barkley's fault. Some of it's the team's fault. Some of it's just the fault of the injury. Let's talk about the national media coverage of the New York Giants. It's pretty ugly. It's pretty bad. You got people basically just saying that it's just bad. We're bad. And they know it. CBS Sports comes out and says, no matter who plays quarterback, the offense is dreadful. It sounds like Joe Judge is coming back, though. Yeah, it is. And I love NBC Sports. Joe Judge opened his press conference after a 34-10 loss by commending his special teams for field position they gave the team. Explain to me why, again, he deserves another season. The Giants are pathetic. You have the sporting news. The Giants have become an injury-riddled mess. Although they have some big moments on defense, their offense is going to completely tank with all the injuries, and no Daniel Jones is dragging the whole team down. Yahoo Sports, Saquon Barkley, 28 yards, 16 touches against the Eagles. Then reporters noted he didn't speak to the media after the game on Monday. Former matters way more than the latter. It's been a long time since we've seen Barkley look like a star. New York Post, how about Daniel Jones as a dark horse MVP candidate? It's a joke, sort of. Watching Mike Glennon and Fromm lead scoreless drives makes you appreciate little Jones was able to accomplish with the blocking in the last 6 games. It's in Sports, let's see here. Sports Illustrated. If I was Gary Gramling, I would be a coward and say the Jets and the Giants are tied. But I'm not, so I declare the Giants are slightly the best team in New York, I guess. But there's a fine line. Even the national media sees what a mess this organization, this franchise is. And the giant monarch, we're going to bring back these 2 head coaches. We're bringing these coaches back. We're bringing back this head coach. We're bringing back this quarterback. It's not always the offensive line's fault. I am so tired of this rudimentary assessment of the offensive line play. It's not. There are plenty of teams with bad offensive lines that are on playoff runs. It has to do with coaching. It has to do with the ability to get the best and most out of your talent. It's the ability to draft properly and draft quality backups. It's the ability to use your money in free agency wisely to bring in people that are going to make a difference. These are the things that it's about. It's not just about the offense was terrible because of the line. I remember before, remember once it was all Coughlin's fault. Or first it was Jerry Reese's fault. Then it was Coughlin's fault. Then it was the drafting's fault because we don't have this. Then we don't have this in free agency, so I go at this and it's something else. Now we're going to circle back and we're circling the wagons back and saying now it's the line again. Is anyone sitting there and just watching this and saying, you know what? There is just so many things that you can complain about. There is just so many things that you can keep saying is wrong with this team without addressing the fundamental root of the problem, and that is the head of this organization, from the ownership to the coaching down, then the players. There's that fine line.
There's a fine line between tough and crazy, and you're flirting.
We are flirting with the time. We're not even flirting with the fine line of tough. We're just flirting with the fine line of crazy. Because it's crazy. And fans want to hang their hat on. It's all the offensive line's fault. If we had an offensive line, we would be in the playoffs. Defense can't get off the field on 3rd down. Defense has given up massive, long drives. The defense is falling apart at times. But we're going to overlook all that. We're just going to blame the offensive line. Talk about Saquon Barkley going back to Soldier Field. Going back to where he tore his knee up. Is it Soldier Field now? I don't remember the name of the field now. So I think it is Soldier Field still. It was 470 days after he tore Barkley. Now, most people forget, Barkley didn't just tear his MCL. He tore his CL, his MCL, and his meniscus. All he had left to tear was the ACL, which is the anterior cruciate ligament. That's the only thing he had left to tear, really. That was a pretty bad injury, and it takes almost a year, if not more, to come back from that type of injury. That injury is technically a devastating knee injury. So for him to average 3.5 yards a carry on 130 carries or 461 yards, I'm not overly concerned about it because he needed time to come back. Because remember, he didn't have the surgery until November because of the swelling in his knee. Give the kid a break. You're going to be pointing at, people are going to point out, well, among the 42 running backs with over 100 carries, Barkley's ranked 39th with a success rate of 43%. And then if you go by that stat, Devontae Booker's only ranked 32nd. Give the kid a break. Let him play. He's going to get better. He's going to trust his knee. He's going to trust his ability. But you can't just sit there and blame the poor kid because of the fact that it was a devastating knee injury. It's not like a knee injury. Yes, you have people like Adrian Peterson which come back. But Adrian Peterson's knee injury wasn't as bad as Barkley's. Sometimes players take more time to adjust. Sometimes players need more time to recover. They say you don't come back to full strength until year 2. And we're bashing this kid after coming back 470 days after the injury, after he didn't have his surgery until November, late November, because of the swelling. So don't write off. You want to write off Saquon Barkley? Go ahead. I love it because you got fans that are clamoring and holding on to Daniel Jones. Oh my God, I can't let go of Daniel Jones. I can't let go of my Daniel Jones doll. I have to hold on to it for dear life. It's my security blanket. But you're willing to throw Barkley out with the bathwater. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Well, just throwing that out there for people that know that reference. And Barkley's actually shown that he could be a caliber player, but the problem has been his quarterback. Let's call it like it is. Barkley's best games have been with Eli Manning behind center with horrible offensive lines. Why? Because Eli put Barkley in the best percentage and the best areas to make him successful. Look at the facts when even during Daniel Jones' rookie season, his best games, Barkley's, were with Eli Manning behind center. But again, these are things we don't want to talk about. Don't want to mention these things. Not at all. And you know what's funny? This is a non-winnable game. You win, you lower your draft choice. You lose, you're losing the game then. And then the Bears win, and they're lowering the draft choice you got from them. There's nothing there. There's nothing there that makes you be like, well, we want to really win this game. We really want to win this game. I don't want to win this game that bad. I don't want to lose a game that bad either. But this is not via the scoreboard. This is a non-winnable game outside of the scoreboard, which is kind of weird to say. How did the Giants quarterback situation, though, get so bad so quickly? Well, we drafted Daniel Jones 6th overall at Duke. That probably was the start of it. But you got to look at the backup quarterback situation. You had Colt McCoy last year, who went 1-1 as a backup to Jones. He's like I said, Colts. He had his performance in his last one was with Week 15. It was 19-31 for 221. That kind of raised concerns, I believe, with the Giant organization. But it's the type of quarterback he is. It really is. I mean, he's an older guy, but he's a professional. He knows how to get to the line. He knows how to put his guys in the right positions in the right places. We talked about that. But the Giants basically got rid of Colt because it was a cap-saving move to go with Glennon. And Glennon, if you ever watched him in Tampa, if you ever watched him in Chicago, he's not the answer. And I've said this a million times. The only answer is Mike Glennon is, who is the worst backup quarterback in New York right now? It would be Mike Glennon. That's the only answer. That's the only question that's the answer of Mike Glennon. We had Cooper Rush at one point on there. I would have liked to have kept Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush and McCoy right now are combined 3-1. I thought Cooper Rush was a good asset. But again, you got to get rid of anything that was associated. You got to get rid of anything that was associated with Jason Garrett. We got to get rid of. Mark Colombo, his fault. Got rid of him. Jason Garrett, offense fault. Get rid of him. Cooper Rush, well, he was a Garrett guy. Get rid of him. Joe Judge is a narcissist. You either do it his way, and if you don't, you're an idiot. And he is so right about everything. And even though when he's wrong about everything, you're still an idiot because he is right about it, but no one executed properly. I'm surprised he didn't blame one of his assistant coaches for throwing the red flag. But that's okay. It's just a fact that we didn't evaluate talent. We didn't evaluate the need. Marcus Mariota, 2 years ago, when he was released, I said we should sign him. I said, go out, get a young guy, former first-round pick, who had some success, bring him in, let him compete against Daniel Jones. And I've said this a million times. I think Daniel Jones' psyche is so fragile, the Giants did not want to challenge it. I've said it a million times. I do think that. I don't think he has the mental fortitude to be the quarterback of the New York Giants. Just throwing that out there. I've thrown that out there before. He's missing something. He doesn't have something on.
Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you.
What?
You wake up in the morning, you say, I put on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants on.
I don't think Daniel Jones has his big boy pants on. And I'm not bashing the kid because he's got an injury. I'm bashing the kid because he's got lack of talent. And that's all. That's the whole situation of it. Is lack of talent on his end. He was not evaluated properly by the New York Giants when we drafted him. He was not evaluated properly during the last 3 seasons. And I've said this before, and this is a good point because people that always say to me, well, you love Malik Willis so much, but he has such a terrible seasons at Liberty. He's so terrible. It's awful. Why would you want to draft him from a small school? You mean like from a small school like Duke? And I've said this before, and I've said this a million times about Malik Willis. And I think some people are finally coming around to it, the intelligent fans. I said, watch the player. Go watch all the Liberty games. Don't watch the highlights. Watch the player. Watch what he does when everything is perfect. Watch what he does when things aren't perfect. Watch what he does. Watch what he does when there's blown assignments. Watch what he does when the blocking and everything, the execution is perfect. Watch what he does. Is it his fault? And then see and determine, was it his fault or was there external factors that caused these problems? Daniel Jones fumbling is no one's fault but Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones' lack of pocket awareness and his ability to sense pressure is Daniel Jones. Go back and watch Daniel Jones. But again, don't watch the team, watch the player. And then give an accurate and honest assessment about the player. And I think, we had a caller, Maris Carpenter, came in yesterday. And he gave the final thought. We did a call-in show yesterday. I didn't even know we were doing a call-in show. We had LeVar stopping by. I always love talking to LeVar. LeVar's already got always got some fantastic takes. He's a great commenter in the streams. He's a great commenter just in general. So it was nice to actually have him on. It was nice to talk to people in person that you kind of built up a relationship with over the last year and a half by, via Twitter or via direct messages and the comment section. So it was nice to have LeVar on as well. I told LeVar he's got to come back, give him a little bit more time. Because we kind of started, we were 2 hours in and we were trying to end the stream and we came in late. But I told LeVar come back maybe on Sunday or in a week or two. We can talk. And we may just do a giant rant session. I don't know. People like that. But Maris Carpenter came in and said it best. He basically was just saying that Giant fans need to be more honest. Need to be more honest with themselves, with the organization. And that'll go a long way to help improving this team. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you like, maybe subscribe, and the play, what that means. That'd be awesome.